Okay, we're going to look at solving the quadratic formula. So if you have any quadratic in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, we can solve that by completing the square. So the first thing you want to do is factor out the a out of the first two terms. So really it's like dividing an a out. That'll be x squared plus b over ax. And we want to add something to complete the square. And so the thing that we're going to add comes from taking that b over a and dividing by 2, which really becomes b over 2a. And then we need to square that. So that's b squared over 4a squared. B squared over 4a squared. And then we're going to subtract that, b squared over 4a squared. Now the reason in completing the square was, again, so these first three terms can factor. So this will factor x times x is x. This guy is b over 2a. And we still have this going on. And then we want to kick this guy out. So if he gets kicked out, he has to multiply first by the a. So this will be minus b squared over just 4a, because this a will reduce with one of those guys. We still have plus c equals 0. So if we want to solve, let me square that. If we want to solve for this x, we need to put a few things together. So I'm going to move this over to the other side of the equation. So plus b over 4a minus c, and we're going to do that over here. Plus b over 4a minus c. And so this becomes a times x plus b over 2a squared equals b over 4a minus c. And I need to actually go fix that. It should have been a b squared this whole time. So I'm going to subtract the b squared. I'm just fixing that. There we go. And so then we want to divide by a. So if we divide by a over here, this is going to be x plus b over 2a squared equals, divide by a, both terms. It'll be b squared over 4a, we're going to need another a down there, minus, and then it'll be c over a. So I want to combine these two together to be one fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 4a over here, 4a over here. So this is going to be b squared minus, this becomes 4ac all over 4a squared. So we have x plus b over 2a squared. Now to get the x alone, we want a square root using our square root property. So this is x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus. Well, when you take the square root of a fraction, we can have the square root of the top, which is b squared minus 4ac, over the square root of the bottom, which would turn into just 2a. So then we minus b over 2a to both sides, and we end up having x is equal to negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, which will be negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We just solve for x, and this is the quadratic formula. So once we've proven the quadratic formula by completing the square, we won't really need to complete the square anymore. We just did it in general for all quadratics of that form, ax squared plus bx plus c.